This is going to be a super raw video just talking about my journey from starting our agency from $0 to doing over $200,000 per month and scaling to over $100,000 per month in literally less than a year. So a little bit about myself. I didn't grow up as an entrepreneur. I didn't even know what business ownership was. A very blue collar, I would say. Like my dad worked in construction and my mom was working at the same company as like another representative of that company. And I was like, I'm going to be a construction worker. I'm just going to work my way up. College wasn't even like an option for me either. So it's not like I had this huge roadmap for this successful career of like corporate world. It was more like, where can I work that I can like have a steady job and a steady income and just really work my way up, because that's what I knew. And like as growing up too, I mean, we got evicted from our apartment. My mom, myself, and my brother, because my mom could no longer pay the rent and she eventually moved to a different state and I was literally living with a friend and then moved in with my dad shortly after. Brother was addicted to drugs, had to witness that. So I think a lot of kind of the drive that's allowed me to grow as an entrepreneur came from the pain. As I went through that, as I came out of that, I was like, I never want my family to ever experience that ever in their life. On the other side of it, I was like, I got to figure out like how I can best get my life together. And option number one was join the military. I decided against it because I remember calling my dad when I had the papers in front of me. I was like, all right, I'm going to sign these papers. And he like starts crying. He's like, don't do it. Don't do it. He was like crying on the phone. I was like, okay, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to become a police officer. I wanted something stable. I wanted something that like can feel proud of, and had a mentor who was my old baseball coach who was a police officer and kind of saw what he was able to achieve from it and got me excited. And it was a career that I thought I could move up in, retire early, dad would be proud, all that good stuff. So I was 18 at the time and I can't become a police officer when I was 18. I had to wait, I think till I was like 19 and a half or like 20 and a half or something like that. So I was like, hey, what am I going to do in the meantime? All right, I'm going to work. So I got a job literally at a call center Monday through Friday. Weekends, I would be selling energy drink at Costco, like no joke. And then I would pay to go to school. So I was living with my dad. I'd pay to go to school, just like take a few classes, like in criminal justice, more so to check the box. And I was working in the call center. I like moved up, became like a manager. It was like 70 people in this call center, and eventually met the founder of the company. We connected and I was really nervous to go up to him. I remember approaching him and talking to him, and then realized like he was just a human. And I remember we got coffee and he showed a lot of interest in me, probably because I was like working really hard, and realized if this guy can work his way up and become a founder of this multi-million-dollar company that eventually sold to Lowe's, why couldn't I do something similar? So that was really a big turning point in my life to say, I can do way more than I think I'm capable of. We became really good friends. That company, I actually moved up and went from being like literally a call center representative to moving into business development role with like a bunch of people in like suits and college degrees and stuff. And 20-year-old me is there with all these people, but proved myself right in that role and did really well. Like I dropped out of school. I was like, okay, cool. I'm just going to pursue business. I really like this business development thing. I want to see where this takes me. I guess I don't need a college degree. Let's like put pause on being a police officer just because I can serve people without having a gun strapped on me. Shortly after, actually got an opportunity at a company, NBC affiliate up here in Seattle, doing like advertising sales. So basically what I would do is I would cold call businesses and I would try to sell them TV spots. This was like my first go at freaking getting after it from like a sales perspective and eating what I could kill, because this was 100% commission. I did that for 2 years and did pretty well. I was definitely one of the top new salesmen. I was like making good money. That was like my first 6 figures. Like I think I was like 22 years old, 21 years old at the company. I had started to get like virtual mentors, I guess you could say, and like started networking a lot. And one of the first virtual mentors that I got was Gary Vee. And he's like, okay, gotta do what you love. Gotta like pursue, gotta like be entrepreneur, like get after it, like take risks, bet on yourself. One of the interests that I had was getting into residential real estate. So that was really my first like actual business venture. I know some people in real estate. Like I think I could do really well. I know marketing. I'm a savage at sales at this point. I'm going to bet on myself. I remember quitting my job, moving into my friend's spare bedroom, got into real estate, zero income, zero promised income, and just started grinding. And that's really when I started to pick up social media like really heavy. I knew that it's something that's fairly natural to me. I knew that if all my friends are on social media, so if I can build my brand as a real estate agent, then when they think of real estate, they're going to think of me. And what came from it was business, which was awesome. But I started to build influence as this real estate guy who's really good at social media. And what came from that was people kept asking me for help. At this point, I didn't even know what a video agency was or what a marketing agency was. I didn't even know you could monetize it. Like it was fairly new at the time. So I would like help people for free and like do videos for a bunch of people. And then I finally met somebody who was a marketing agency who was like doing like lead gen or something like that for people. I was like, you're like monetizing this and people are paying you for this stuff? And really this is where my freelancing or before agency career started was on the side of also selling real estate. So I was like, okay, cool. Why don't I just like help some people and like have them pay me, and then I'll do like their social media and do like videos for them. So that's what I started doing. And eventually I would do like lunch and learns for people. I would talk to a bunch of people, and all of a sudden I have multiple clients as a social media marketing agency, and I'm juggling real estate, and I need to make a decision. And that's where I was like, I've been in real estate for 2.5 years. I don't love opening doors for people. I don't love the fact that I have to work literally 24/7 because you have to do open houses on the weekend and then you got to work during the week. Super competitive, very location dependent. So I was like, okay, I'm going to give this whole social media marketing agency thing a shot. Had some good mentors talking to me. That's where I went all in. And at first I was like, who can I help? How many people can I help? I had some connections, had some good clients, like started talking to people. And what I was doing, which I totally regret going back on, I was a yes man. Like, you need videos, you need website, you need photos, you need me to post for you, you need graphics, you need me to come by this weekend. I'll do it, because I had so much FOMO of missing out on business. At this point, I was pretty much a employee of 5 different clients. And while the money was good, what wasn't good was how overwhelmed I was. And I was juggling so many different things for so many different people. I was doing everything myself. Really got on the verge of burnout, where I would literally wake up at 4 a.m., start working, go to the gym for like an hour, literally not put my computer down till like 8 p.m. And that's where I was like, if I want to grow this thing, if I want to work myself out of this business and like actually build something meaningful and actually make real money, I need to grow and scale this thing, and I need people. And that was my first experience of getting stuff off of my plate. I think like our first time hiring or our first time getting stuff off the plate, it can be very overwhelming because like you don't know and you want to control everything and you want to make sure quality is good and like you don't trust people. And that was like the first time where it was like, it feels really busy because I'm training this person, and then once they got onboarded and dialed in, it was like, whoa, I just got 20 hours a week back. Now I can use those 20 hours to go do on the business activities and start actually growing the business and doing more sales. But at the same time, I was like, I know that I need to set people up for success and make sure like this stuff is dialed in. So 2 things happened. One, like every Saturday morning, literally, I would go to a coffee shop, work all day just on systems and processes, just on getting things dialed in, working on the business, all of the busy work that is uninterrupted, because during the week I was on shoots, I was handling client stuff, I was doing sales calls, I was driving around all the time. Second thing was getting a mentor. And what they really helped me realize was that is completely unscalable because you're doing everything. That's when I was like, okay, cool. I need to come up with an offer. I need to come up with how we're solving problems for clients. And that's like the main thing that we're offering for people. After those 2 things were really dialed in, I was like, we're just going to stick to these packages, and that's what we're going to be selling going forward. And then shortly after, met Mark, who was like my right hand, essentially. He's now the CEO of Braintegic, but met him just through like Bible study, essentially. And he was like really ambitious, wanted to start a business at some point in his life. And I was like, I'm growing my business. We're at like 20, 30K a month. Let's figure out a job for you. So he started working part-time, eventually transitioned to full-time, and eventually he took over all of like the fulfillment side of things. That is when we really started to take off. And at that point too, we literally moved into a 2-bedroom apartment. So Mark and I, COVID hit, and fortunately we were able to help a lot of people through COVID, because just like the industry needed video, the industry needed to be on social media locally. Was our first $750,000 a year. And we were just ripping out our offers because we had preset packages for people, and we were the go-to people in the area for social media and video work and all that sort of stuff. That's when we were like, okay, cool. Wow, we have like 5 people on the team. Now it's time to like think about what the next step is. So that's when we were like, okay, we need to legitimatize. We need to get an office space and start really scaling. So we got an office space. We made that a big deal publicly from a branding perspective. Now like it's really time to like scale this up. So my core focus was on creating client predictability, so sales, and then just being like a CEO and like building the org structure essentially and like the organization. And that year we more than doubled once we got the office space, because I was like, okay, this is my main focus. I'm gonna do sales, client predictability. Like, let's just make this happen. I think like a year later, we doubled our studio space and got another studio. And I think we upwards to around $2 million the following year. It's been a really crazy journey. Like, Mark was super paramount from the perspective of handling the operations and like the fulfillment side of things, where I focused on the sales and business development. And then Peter, who was literally a contract videographer for us, grew into being a creative director and hiring a team underneath of him. Then Mark had a team underneath of him as well from like social media management. I think like the biggest turning points for us really were, 1, dialing in our packages and our offer, and then 2, building like a really good team around us. Like, there's no way we could have hit 7 figures. There's no way we could have hit $200,000 a month if we did not have a rock star team underneath of us. If I were to do everything again, like, 1 is just right out of the gate focusing on like what's the problem I want to solve for people, and then 2 would be like creating client predictability right from the jump. So for us, it was like authority funnel, all that good stuff. 3, hiring really good A players to grow and scale, because as the company grows, people are either going to grow with you or you're going to outgrow people, and then they're not going to be a perfect fit for the way the company is growing. And the skill set needed and the type of person to help scale with that is a lot different. And then lastly, would be systems and processes. So I'm really glad that I'm like very like ops focused, and that was something that was really helpful for the organization. Just as we grew and scaled, was just having like a back end and systems and processes that we could follow, and like setting our team up for success. Like I think that's another thing as like a leader. It's like once you get to a point where you're not doing everything, your most important client isn't the new client that just signed on this week. The most important client is the team. So what I mean by that is like we need to make sure that we're equipping our team with success, and that comes from systems, processes, all that good stuff. And basically your job is, how do I make sure this person has every single resource they need to not screw this up, and they're growing and they're equipped on being a good team member, essentially. So then the last one would be like building a brand. And there's two ways that I went about it, which was one, I'm going to hammer social media and build our brand on social media and become the most known marketing agency in our space. And then the second way was meeting people, getting out in the community and going to events and showing face and all that sort of stuff, which was really helpful for us. So that's pretty much the journey for us. There's a lot of micro lessons in there that I probably forgot that would be probably worth sharing at some point, but it's been a lot of fun, very worth it, and don't regret anything that's happened inside of Brandtegic and the agency and all that sort of stuff, because I think everything that we went through was simply a learning lesson on how we can continue to grow, and then also how I can steward my knowledge to help other agencies not make similar mistakes that I made. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for tuning in if you guys made it this far, and we'll see you on the next video.